You're tuned into SEC Sunday Night, part of the Chief Sports Network.
Grab a drink and grab a snack. It is time for SEC Sunday Night live on the Chief Sports Network. I'm Rob Williams. He's Craig McMichael. We're here with you every single week. And finally, they told you it might be a dud. They said it looked like a dud. They said it was going to be boring. Games were not boring, Craig.
They were not boring.
The results were a little bit boring, weren't they?
A little bit boring. I think Starkville probably wishes it was probably less boring, but yeah, I would say the folks in Auburn probably happy about that one. LSU, our friend Glenn Gilbo wrote, "New coach, same old story." Yeah, my goodness, the LSU offense was bad, but no, I mean it was an enjoyable weekend. The Big Four did what they had to do. I enjoyed it. Your Gamecocks were off, the Horns were off, the Sooners were off. BV was back in Clemson. Dabo got the band back together. It was a good weekend.
Yep, let's begin everything by letting you know that we are brought to you by Hewitt Damaduros Law. If you would like to talk to Brad and Dean, you just go to hdlawsc.com. If you need them for personal injury or anything related to the sort, if you had a fall, if you have an insurance claim, whatever the case may be, remember, they're going to win you tens of millions of dollars for all of our clients combined, and some of that could be for you. If you have a claim and you're not just going to be pushed to the side as a part of the stack, as a part of a number, as just another client in the office, and you're not going to see somebody else. You're going to actually talk to Brad or Dean, Hewitt or Damaduros. You're going to get a chance to build a relationship. Craig and I think that when you come here to SEC Sunday Night, that everything is about a relationship. We want to have a real conversation with you. This place is about casual sports conversations for the serious sports fan. And so in the same way, you're going to get real conversations and real relationships with Hewitt Damaduros, hdlawsc.com. And with that being said, we're going to go straight to everybody's favorite segment. That's not true. This is just Craig's favorite, the score rundown.
The weather
report rundown. Georgia 41-21 over Mississippi State in Starkville. Ole Miss blows out the Citadel 49-0, does as they should. Chambliss for 333 and 3 touchdowns was really impressive. Texas A&M 38-17 over Missouri. I think this is spelling the end of the Missouri run in 2025. Vanderbilt in an absolute thriller in overtime, 45-38 over Auburn. The most impressive thing for me here, Craig, is Pavia throws for 377 and 3 touchdowns and carried the ball for 112 yards and a tutty on the ground as well. Alabama, not the prettiest, but gets it done 20-9 over LSU. And then the shocker of the weekend, in my opinion, was not that Kentucky beat Florida, but the way they beat them, 38-7. So there's what the results actually look like over the course of the weekend. If you are a fan of SEC Sunday Night, then you know good and well that how we start the show every week is that we get an opportunity to throw it back to Friday, where I talked to Daily Joy with SEC Pretty on the SEC Pretty campus tour. This week she was in Starkville to see the Bulldogs and the Bulldogs, and we get to see all the ways that we were wrong. Shout out to Freezing Cold Takes for being a friend of ours and helping us to cope with the mistakes that we make. And so right now it's time to go to the SEC Pretty campus tour. And so if you're tuning in for the first time, I'll remind you, this next 10 minutes is from Friday, and we'll be back in just a moment to laugh at how wrong Joy and I were. Here we go. Here's Daily Joy from SEC Pretty. Welcome back to SEC Sunday Night Live on the Chief Sports Network. We are here always on the SEC Pretty Campus Tour with Daily Joy. Joy, first and foremost, good to see you. It's week 11. Tell us where you are and what's going on.
I am in Starkville, or headed to Starkville this weekend for Georgia at Mississippi State. Like Rob, we've talked about it off air, like not the most exciting weekend in college football.
Here's my nominee. Let me just lift it up with two hands right here in front of us. My nominee for the Freezing Cold Takes, I was wrong, whatever we're calling it, segment right here, okay? Because every time we say, oh, this looks boring, some kind of chaos happens. Let's pick these three games, and I want to talk college football playoff just a little bit because we have big plans and we're headed there.
Yeah.
Any chance that Mississippi State in this game that you're going to, do you think they have any chance of upsetting Georgia?
Davis Wade Stadium is a hard place to play. It's loud. The cowbells are obnoxious. I see Mississippi State hanging around for a little while. I think ultimately Georgia will punch their ticket in and head to Athens victoriously. But I don't anticipate this being a bad game. Like I'm very much looking forward to the game. I'm not looking forward to the migraine that I'll have after the game because of the cowbells.
I'm going to go the other way. I think Georgia blows them out. No, I think Georgia's going to blow them out. I don't think it's going to be close. I think that they kind of got that one out of their system with Florida last week. I understand Florida has a lot of talent, but it's just a floundering program and situation down there right now. And so I don't have a lot of faith in what the Gators are going to be able to do. And really, I'm interested to see what they do against Kentucky. Not interested enough for us to talk about that game, but I am interested. But I think that Georgia is ready to come out and like start making a statement. They've got a lot ahead of them. We've talked about it time and time again. They've got Texas, they've got Georgia Tech, and in order for them to get into the college football playoff, they're going to have to be able to kind of start putting things together. All right, Texas A&M Missouri is the afternoon game there at 3:30 on ABC. Texas A&M obviously is in pole position to go to the SEC championship game. They're the top ranked SEC team in the college football playoff initial rankings at 3. Missouri's on their third quarterback. Maggie came in and told us a couple weeks ago she thinks that the Matt Zollers era is here and that he's actually better than Bo Perbula and anybody else that was on the roster. But he wasn't starting until now due to 2 injuries. So is Missouri done? Can we just say that?
I hate to do that to my girl Maggie, but I do fear that's kind of the case that we're going at.
When this is playing on Sunday night, I'm tagging her right here, just so you know, in the live tweet.
Stop. I can't wait.
Joy says.
I'm texting her when we get off here.
Joy says Missouri is toast.
No, I did not say that. I'm nervous for Missouri. And the words that are about to come out of my mouth are probably the most painful words that I'll ever speak. So I'll only say them one time. Texas A&M is so good. They're so good. And that makes me want to vomit. But I just think, especially in the trenches, they just are dominating opponents at the line of scrimmage. And Missouri's been plagued by injuries all year. We can call it what we want to about head coaching searches. Drink's name is coming up. You don't know how focused he is on the games at hand. He could be looking on to broader horizons, and I need Missouri fans. I love Missouri fans. I had an excellent time in Columbia. I do think there probably needs to be some realization about where your program stands within the conference. The reality is the blue bloods of the SEC will always be a better job, and that's not a dig at Missouri. That's just the way that it always has been and probably always will be. A lot of these other schools have more resources that they're able to give you. They're in the heart of the SEC. They have better recruiting grounds. There's just some things that Missouri can't give to Drink, and I'm wondering if that maybe is also looming and is going to play a factor in this game.
Yep, no doubt. I think Texas A&M takes care of business as well. I think if anything that they have the potential to trip up maybe at the end of the year, but I did pick them to beat Texas in our preseason game-by-game predictions, and so I probably should stick to it. Also, I'll let you know, I'm really proud of you because I saw an SEC Pretty Instagram story yesterday. Maybe it was a repost, but there was a Gig 'em GIF on there, and so I was just really proud of you for branching out.
Business decisions.
Yeah, Craig is calling me right now. Craig, I'll call you back. I understand that this is Sunday night when you're seeing this, but I'll call you back later. I'm looking right outside of the cut line, which will be after Notre Dame at Texas, Oklahoma, and then Vanderbilt down there at 16 still has a shot. As it stands right now today, 2 questions. First question is, how many teams does the SEC ultimately get into the college football playoff? Let's actually make a prediction that we can clip weeks down the road to figure out if we were wrong.
Okay. I'm gonna say 4.
Okay.
I want it
Safe
to be
bet.
5.
Safe bet.
I'm gonna say 4, and I'm doing that for a couple of reasons. I think the narrative, I think we saw it last year, starting to shift around the SEC, has only continued into this season, and I can see I think we all saw the video of the College Football Playoff Committee. I don't know how much I trust them. And, obviously you're going to have automatics. You're going to have your group of 5. The expanded playoff to me has become a lot of let's give some more people a chance, whether it's the best teams or not.
But they don't have a chance. Just because we put them in doesn't mean they have a chance.
I agree with you. Me and you are on the same page about that. There are so many things about this playoff I don't agree with, specifically the automatic bid for the group of 5. But outside of that, I think 4 is a safe. You're right; it's a safe number. I think obviously Alabama, barring anything crazy happening, is in. I think Georgia, barring anything crazy happening, is in. A&M again. Even if they drop to Texas, I still think they're in.
I think they're in too,
and
Ole Miss.
I think Ole Miss is in. So I think those 4 are pretty much guaranteed. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm not sure about Vanderbilt. I don't think I think they're gonna lose to Tennessee. So I think that's ultimately gonna be the thing that knocks them out.
And that would do it. And they're gonna need the right things to fall in front of them too,
No
as
doubt.
are Texas and Oklahoma. And Texas and Oklahoma really have a path to create some chaos. And that could put more SEC teams in, or it could put less SEC teams in, depending on how much chaos we really get. The question is, will we get any of it this weekend? You mentioned the group of 5. I have a great solution for you. I think that money is the solution to getting us creating a group of 5 playoff where we can kind of put them segmented off to the side. So as SEC Pretty continues to grow, you just become the backing sponsor behind the group of 5 playoff, and it'll just be. And that's what we'll call it. It will be. I can see it now on my screen. Group of 5 playoff presented by SEC Pretty. What a day! What a day that will be.
The SEC's over here saving everything, always and forever.
Yeah, that would be. Wouldn't that be incredible if you get the SEC's name on the group of 5?
It would be pretty sick.
It would be really good. All right. Last question. Which SEC town will put on the best opening round playoff atmosphere of all the options? So your options are plenty. You got about half the league there, because you have College Station, Tuscaloosa, Athens, Oxford you mentioned, but we have to throw in Austin, Norman, and Nashville, because they all have a shot. Someone's gonna clip this. I really am not. I'm trying my best to be unbiased here. I actually really do think it would be Oxford, and that's for a couple of reasons. One, Georgia, obviously, they are so used to the playoff at this point. I don't know how well they celebrate it. Obviously, Tennessee went last year, and let's be honest, half the Nashville people aren't even Vanderbilt fans or Tennessee fans, so they've already done this too. I think Oxford, a city and place known for their tailgating, would elevate it to a completely new level if they were able to host a playoff game. I think they're doing their absolute best to present the prettiest picture to Lane to get him to stay. I think this town would absolutely explode if they were a host for the first round of the playoffs. There you go. We're excited to find out who it is that's going to host the first round of the playoffs, and we will continue to watch as things develop here on SEC Sunday Night. Thank you, as always, to our friend Daily Joy on the SEC Pretty Campus tour this week in Starkville. Joy, have a great time. Bring me a cowbell.
Absolutely not. Bye, Rob.
When playing sports, you want a coach that will fight for you. At Hewitt Diamaduros Law Firm, we've got your back. Whether it's personal injury, insurance disputes, negligence, or wrongful death, our team delivers exceptional legal services that makes meaningful difference in the lives of the individuals and families we work for. Visit hdlawsc.com. hdlawsc.com. Hewitt Diamaduros, we're on your team.
Oh man, the building is on fire.
Emergencies and accidents happen. When you're in the middle of a fire or water event, all you want is for things to return to normal as soon as possible. Resto Pros of the Midlands is with you, guiding you through the process and working with you to get your home or office back in working order. They'll answer your questions, discuss procedures, and can act as your advocate when it comes to processing your insurance claim. Resto Pros Midlands SC.com. Open 24/7 when you need them. Quality that is guaranteed.
At TriFit Physical Therapy and Performance, we believe true health and peak performance start with personalized care. Whether you're an athlete, recovering from injury, or just chasing your next personal best, we're here to guide your journey. With expert coaching, hands-on therapy, and transparent cash-based pricing, you get the care you need without the insurance red tape. One client drove 100 miles just to see us and said it was worth every mile. Contact us at trifitperformance.com or 803-353-5619. TriFit Physical Therapy and Performance, where recovery meets results.
Yo, what's up?
Baby, let's go.
OTC is go.
Packet go.
PTC is go.
LPS is go.
Houston flight is go.
Pilot go.
FTM is go.
Safety comms is go.
STU is go.
LRD is go.
SRO is go. CDI is go.
Launch director, NTD, our launch team is ready to proceed at this time.
It's SEC Sunday Night, presented by Hewitt Diamaduros. Visit hdlawsc.com. It's go time.
Welcome back to SEC Sunday Night Live on the Chief Sports Network and presented proudly by Hewitt Diamaduros Law, hdlawsc.com. So many things there from me and Joy on Friday. We missed on a couple of things. What was what? What was what?
Okay,
what are you upset about?
First off, oh, the Aggies are so good. And then we have this thing that Athens will be bored by a playoff game and Oxford will be better. I think we're going to have the third night game coming up. So sorry, Joy, you are out of the Go Dogs fan club. I don't know what has happened on this SEC Pretty Tour. I thought you were a fan of Georgia. Apparently you are clouded. I just don't understand what's happening. And on behalf of our friend John Smith of John Tweet Sports, our hearts are broken. It is just wrong.
Here's the thing. Here's the
no,
thing that
it's
I
not.
wanna,
Here's the thing.
Here's
that's
the thing
just
that
wrong.
I want to say. Here's the thing that I want to say. There was a lot going on there, but here's my takeaway. And we have a lot to get to tonight, but luckily for us, our friend Andrew McCleary is here with us, and he's early, so I'm going to go to him and bring him in because I want to have this discussion with him. Andrew, welcome in, Big 12 correspondent.
Baby.
He's got his tortillas. He is here to talk, ladies and gentlemen, about the Big 12, but specifically who is riding atop of the Big 12 right now, and that is his Texas Tech Red Raiders, who he covers for Last Word on college football as well as the entire conference there. But a former Big 12 team, I believe, in the Texas A&M Aggies is the number one team in the country, Craig. And so to Joy's point, they are so good. They are so good. And I will continue to stand on this point I don't see any. If you can match anyone up with them right now, and they have just as good a shot as anybody with beating them. We've said over and over again that this year in college football, there's no one that we're going to say is head and shoulders above everybody else. But I do think we're starting to see some cream rise to the top of this crop, and Texas A&M is up there. We cannot play this game anymore. I am telling you, I'm taking them number one.
Take off your SEC goggles. You ready, Andrew? See, I've got you, brother. Don't worry, I've got your back here.
This feels like I'm walking into a Stockholm Syndrome event, trying to butter me up here.
This will be good. And then thank you and welcome, by the way. Grab your churros. Texas A&M's 6-0 start to the SEC is built on playing only the bottom half of the league. A&M's 6 conference opponents thus far are 8-27 in SEC games. Now, I know every SEC team is fantastic, as Mr. McCleary is going to tell us, but every one of those 6 teams has a losing record in the SEC. By the way, next up for Texas A&M, your South Carolina Gamecocks, which are 1-6. So
I understand completely.
So save the Texas A&M and the 12th man banter, because they have benefited and are fat on cupcakes. Wait till they actually play somebody, and Arch takes care of them in Austin.
Who are you taking as the best team in the country then, Craig? Who are you taking?
Alabama or Georgia?
Andrew, save us here and tell him that if it's not A&M, it's Ohio State.
Wow.
Or you're going to tell us it's Texas Tech. We're going to
$25 million team, baby. I'm taking Tech.
Listen, I would love to stand on business and say that's the case, but the reality is the team currently, there are too many questions at the quarterback position. Okay, Baron Morton was born, bred for this moment to elevate this program to a new level, but it broke during the game against BYU. He's been playing with a hairline fracture in his leg since week 2. Okay, we got big problems because the backup quarterback is out for the season, torn ACL. So Mitch Griffiths, long, windy road from Wake Forest to Lubbock, Texas. The guy had actually given up football, but took a chance on it for one last year of eligibility. You know, he's the only quarterback behind Morton. And it was very evident when Morton faced a very ferocious rush from BYU, he could not get away. He's very much a statue back there currently. I mean, he is still throwing the ball well. He just doesn't have any mobility. But I will tell you unequivocally, Texas Tech's defense takes a backseat to nobody in this country. Ohio State's, Indiana's, it does not matter. There are probably 6 guys on this defense that are going to get their name called in April for the NFL draft, probably 2 of them in the first round. So this defense takes a backseat to no one. It also has a leading Heisman candidate at the linebacker position. Jacob Rodriguez is the best linebacker in the country. His numbers work out just about as evenly as Manti Te'o's did his Heisman finalist campaign. So the Red Raiders, their defense alone deserves conversation for, a national championship type level team.
Okay, speaking of Rodriguez and the Heisman, make sure that you grab that Heisman article from Last Word on College Football each and every week. I'm not sure who the guy is that writes it, but somebody keeps submitting Jacob Rodriguez out on the poll. He hasn't quite made it into the list yet because there's not staff support for Rodriguez.
If you would allow me for 1 second, through 10 games of Manti Te'o's career, the first 10 games, he had 92 tackles.
Best example.
If
we're just talking on the field,
if we're talking purely defensive players, we're talking a linebacker who was a Heisman finalist.
Not at AOL chat. Not at AOL chat.
No. Okay. We're trying to compare apples to apples here. Okay. 92 tackles through 5 games, 5.5 for a loss, 6 interceptions, 10 pass deflections, 1 fumble recovery. Jacob Rodriguez through the same 10-game stretch, 91 tackles, 9.5 tackles for loss, 3 interceptions, 5 passes defended, 7 forced fumbles, 2 fumbles recovered. Okay. I mean, we are talking almost.
That sounds like someone needs a bonus in Lubbock, is what I'm saying.
I have no doubt him and his mustache are taken care of very well out in Lubbock.
I will say the one thing that will benefit Texas Tech is if they play Georgia in the second round of the playoffs, Georgia doesn't have a defensive line. Georgia doesn't rush the quarterback. So you don't have to worry about getting that sort of any of that pressure at all whatsoever. We're not interested in sacking the quarterback or doing any of these things. But
what I will say, in as we talk about defense, and we're talking about trying to stop people from doing things. One thing that I don't want to stop any of our viewers or listeners from doing is making sure that they sign up for our free SEC Pretty giveaway. And so you're going to see that peppered throughout our tweets all night. The link is there. It's also in the comments. If you're on YouTube and you're watching live or you're watching on the archive, you can find it there in the comments. And if for whatever reason you're on your device right now, just go to my profile. The link in bio is the link as well to sign up for that. We're giving away 3 free merchandise items from SEC Pretty. You saw Joy earlier. She has taken off with this brand this year, and she's continuing to expand the things that we're giving away. And so we just want to give back to you guys because you're here each and every week. I'm watching the numbers rolling in. We're having, 15, 20,000 people here with us each and every week. Make sure that you you subscribe, you give us a review. If you're on podcast listening on Apple or Spotify, we are there. Make sure that you give us 5 stars and that you leave us a comment there as well. And if you're on X right now, the easiest thing to do is hit follow for me and Craig. So make sure that you do that. Andrew, let's talk about the Big 12 because as we look at the college football playoff picture, I'll put this up here for us so that we can have a conversation with a visual as well. Whenever I find it, we'll have this graphic up to kind of discuss what the breakdown looks like. But obviously, the discussion is how many teams are going to get in from each conference, right? We have the automatic qualifiers that get us there, but then how does this all shake out has been quite a discussion. You tell me a little bit about from your perspective, obviously because you're covering the league, because you're covering Texas Tech. Now it looks like Texas Tech in the driver's seat. Stu Mandel told us last week, we had his tweet on here, that if we see these two teams, Texas Tech and BYU, meet again in the Big 12 championship and BYU wins that game, that's probably the best case scenario to get 2 teams in for the Big 12. But what say you, Mr. McCleary?
The logic's sound there. I don't like, that's not a bad road to go down. But the reality is Texas Tech has beat BYU and Utah by a score of 63-17 combined. Okay. That's your second and third place teams. Now the committee demonstrated they thought very highly of Utah coming into this, coming into last week. Okay. They were seated at 13. They're right on the backside there. So I think they really like Utah a lot. If Utah continues to beat all the other teams on their schedule into submission like they've been doing, and finish out at 10-2, there is a world where Utah can slide in the back door, especially if BYU comes to the Big 12 championship game, even at 11-1, and the same game unfolds again, and they go 0-2 against Texas Tech. Utah can still sit there. There is still a lot of shuffling in the SEC that still is going to play out. This week alone is going to do a lot of shuffling right there at the back end of that 10-14 range. So there's still a real path for 2. I just don't think it's as easy as BYU beats Cincinnati and TCU gets to the Big 12 title game and beats Texas Tech, because what did BYU demonstrate that they're going to be able to fix in a few weeks to beat Texas Tech?
And I think that's your biggest challenge. To me, if you are the Big 12, hell, if you're the ACC, what you're rooting for is you're rooting for an Oregon loss. You're making sure that Texas loses not only this weekend in Georgia, but they also lose at Texas A&M, getting them out of there. You're hoping also that Oklahoma gets beat by Alabama. And then, let's be honest, you hope that somebody plays some defense against Diego Pavia and gets rid of him in the next few weeks, because those are your challenges. Here's the last one we really have to look at. Notre Dame. Notre Dame is playing well. Their offense is playing really well. The committee loves themselves some Notre Dame. But Pat Narduzzi can play spoiler with Pitt. Pat Narduzzi and Pitt can be an absolute wrecking ball. I believe they have Notre Dame, they have Miami, and I think they also have Georgia Tech. They have the 3 biggest ones coming down the stretch here. Like Pitt is the ultimate chaos agent for the entire playoff these last 3 weeks. And if they take care of 2 out of 3, I don't even think they have to go 3 for 3. That will clear the road for 2 Big 12 teams. And you almost wonder, like I think Georgia Tech is that linchpin where they can either win the ACC or maybe if they lose the ACC championship, they get that at large like we saw SMU last week. But if you get total chaos where Pitt, say, goes 3-0, you are looking at maybe one ACC team. I don't think there's going to be another group of 5 that's going to be able to get in above them, though. It just doesn't look like it for sure.
No.
So I guess then that turns me back to the greatest league in college football. And Andrew, I appreciate you being here for this.
He's not going to get a coffee cup with this sort of conversation.
This conversation. Craig, there's a couple things on our
The Lord is testing me.
There's a couple of things on our list, Craig, that we want to get to.
Okay.
Let's just start with quarterback play because I think that it's a good thing for us to have these discussions and have quote unquote unbiased voices like Andrew in the discussion as well as we make our way through the SEC. See, this is what we do for you folks. We provide you the best SEC programming on the air while also giving you a casual conversation that you can participate in. Hop into the comments, hop into the reviews, slide into our DMs, however it is that you want to participate. But we're not just locking you into SEC bias. There's no SEC bias here, right, Kirk Herbstreit? We don't have any SEC bias. We have people here who cover other conferences and are passionate about that as well. So Andrew McCleary is here to set us straight, make sure that you know that there's really no argument we can make against the SEC being the strongest conference in college football. Okay, Craig, let's talk about quarterbacks. Let's talk about quarterbacks.
Respond, did he? Okay, quarterbacks.
We've had some trouble with the quarterbacks this year, and Joy and I kind of teed this up, right? Like the expectations for quarterbacks have not played out to what were given at the beginning of the season. And she said on Friday there's a chance Michael Van Buren gets in for LSU. We indeed saw that happen. What's your assessment, Craig, as we kind of break that down and we look over we had this whole Heisman conversation a minute ago.
Yeah.
It's a quarterback driven award. You know, I kind of wrote it in the stats.
Shouldn't be.
It should not be. It should not be. I agree.
It should be a linebacker driven award.
I'm obviously going to stand for Rodriguez here, but truly and honestly, I believe in my core of core. If a 100% defensive player could win the Heisman, it would restore a ton of faith in the sport in terms of how it's coverage, how it's viewed. The AP poll in general has taken a beating this year, rightfully so.
Who won last year, Andrew?
Travis Hunter won it, but he was not
defensive player.
Yeah, not exclusive. No. If Travis Hunter was just a DB, he would not have won it last year. Plain and simple. I mean, Jeanty came like 5 votes away from winning it, and the only reason he got it was because he was excellent at 2 different positions. Okay.
The only reason is because he was excellent at 2 positions. The only reason. I wish that could be.
No. You came in here trying to use Travis Hunter against me, and now you want to backtrack a little bit. Now you're doing your best Travis Hunter backpedal on me. Okay. No. We're talking exclusive defensive player. Okay. That would restore a lot of people's faith that the folks who cover the sport on a whole, who can vote for the award that is most prestigious in the sport, are paying attention to it on the whole, as they should.
We're gonna have to move the voting, and this is where I know Uncle Tony will get mad at me. The Heisman is for the best player. We still have a month and a half of our season when the Heisman is voted upon, and it has to be voted upon after the playoff. Because if you are the best player, it will show up when the lights are shining the brightest. So just like the sport has evolved, we need to move on.
Andrew, I'm going to let you come back, but let me just insert here because I wrote this in the Heisman article last week.
Go ahead.
It has become a prerequisite in order for you to qualify that your team is in the college football playoff. And to Craig's point, I do think that there's a problem with the timing and there's a problem with people watching football. But I think I know where you're about to go, and I'm going to kick it over to you. That is it possible that the best player in college football is not on the best team? Oh, what a shocker that is. That perhaps we have players who need to be recognized that don't have teams that have real national championship aspirations or real national championship chances. The last time I think we really saw that happen was like what? Lamar Jackson, RG3 come to mind in terms of guys that really weren't in that. I guess last year last year's kind of an outlier in that. But overall, I think that as we look at it this year, the way things are trending in polling, all of the candidates are coming out of the top 5 teams in the country. Go ahead.
Yeah. No, I get it. It's just the top 5 quarterbacks from the top 5 teams. I get it. Like, there's a lot of people who are just lazy with it and not choosing to look. But no, the Heisman Trophy should be an award exclusively for the regular season. I mean,
where does it say
that is our best way to evaluate.
Where does it say it in the description?
It doesn't say that. But that's what the award needs to be focused on. Because when you move into a playoff, the playoff is a completely different season. You're evaluating apples and oranges now, okay?
You were looking at the excellence of college football. How does it the excellence of college football when we're
because you can
who
be the best player in college football and not be on a playoff team? Like, it's not that hard of a concept. Like it's that simple. You can be the absolute best player in college football and not be on one of the 12 best teams. And for that matter, we know it's not the 12 best because of the AQs. Okay, so really, we're talking about maybe.
So you're saying Alabama and Ole Miss should have been in last year?
No, not at all. Because
you're talking about 12 best. You're talking about 12 best teams.
No, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about merit. Okay, I'm talking about merit. The setup. We know what the setup is. Okay, and the games on the field have to matter. Okay, otherwise it's not a playoff. It's an invitational. Okay, if the games on the field don't matter, it is no longer. It's not a playoff. It's an invitational. Okay, golf is here for invitationals. I love golf. I will watch all the invitationals for golf. I want my college football to be determined by results on the field.
So are you okay with getting rid of AQs for the college football playoff then and just doing the 12 best teams?
I would be okay. I still think conference championships have to matter. So I can still reserve the spots. If you win your conference championship, you get a bid. But just like they have it set up this year, give me the 12 best in terms of seeding, and that's how the seeds play out. Okay. I really think even if they expand it, whenever that is, if they go to 16, give me the top 5, highest rated conference champions to get bids, and then everybody gets seeded however they're ranked. I'm fine with that.
By the way, I love you, and I love us going back and forth. This is good. Okay, speaking of those who will not win the Heisman, back to Rob's original question.
Yes,
DJ Lagway and his boy Garrett Nussmeier. Where I believe if we're going to be tagging freezing cold takes, Rob not only had Garrett Nussmeier winning the Heisman, but I think he also had LSU winning the SEC championship and the national championship. And all I have to say is, how about no? My goodness. Both.
All right, I got it. I'll do it. You keep talking.
Both were benched yesterday. Lagway is gone. And which I thought was gold. My boy Lane Kiffin retweets the fact that On3 puts out that DJ Lagway is, benching, which all I have to say is, Lane, that rat poison is yummy. Please stop. I know Florida looked like trash in Lexington, but somehow they'll be motivated because they're looking to play for their future coach. But Nussmeier, is LSU just that broken? Or what happened with Nussmeier that we thought we were having something, and it's just been an absolute dumpster fire all year with him and LSU?
I mean, I from what I was understanding, he was dealing with a nagging oblique injury. Okay.
Yep.
If you have an oblique injury and you try to throw a football, okay, there is tremendous torque that comes out of your body to throw a football. Okay. I don't think a lot of people, if you don't play the position, if you've never played a sport that requires that torque from your core to make that happen, whether it be I mean, really in all sports, but think about throwing a baseball or throwing a football. If you have a nagging oblique injury where you cannot confidently know you can twist without any sort of pain, that's all it's going to take for those throws to sail high or to throw, for him to dirt it or to be off half a step. Like, that is the only difference there. So if it's truly just an injury issue, I mean, that can be explained. But the team as a whole, I mean, to regress as bad as they have regressed offensively was shocking. Like, it was truly shocking to see how far backwards this offense has gone, considering the 180 they did on defense. Like, they improved vastly on defense and got equally as bad on offense.
And Van Buren looked no better at quarterback. That was a tough watch. I mean, I was thinking that was going to be like the 9-6 game from a few years ago. That's how bad the offense was. And Alabama didn't look much better. Like, if you're looking for the kryptonite for Alabama, it's their running game. Like, Ty Simpson has to be on. He's got some really good receivers. Now, granted, that running game looked good against Georgia because whatever the hell Alabama does against Georgia always looks good. But, like, that lack of a running game, I feel like could spell some trouble for the Tide. As far as DJ Lagway goes, like, how does he come back from this? I mean, is he hitting the portal? Is it depending on who the coach is going to be? To me, I don't see a world where DJ Lagway isn't flashing the U next year, or doing something like that.
I can see a world where he's not flashing the U next year.
Okay, where's he going? App State?
If the U is going to drop a bag on any quarterback in the country, and you're going with that skill set, I'm going to be honest right here, and this may or may not go over well in this environment, but can we watch the performance of Lenore Sellers as that indicates whether or not he goes to the NFL after this season? You still have projections that have him in a lot of cases in the first round, and our friend Mike Morgan has said in many cases it only takes one GM to fall in love with that skill set. But if he gets a draft grade back that says he's not going in the first round of the NFL draft because these last 3 games against Texas A&M, Coastal, and Clemson continue to go poorly in the way that Lenore Sellers' season has gone, and he chooses to come back to college in 2026, I think that South Carolina is going to have a bidding war on their hands. And, Craig, I don't know. If the U is going to drop a bag, and those are your options, do you go Lagway or do you go Sellers? It's funny. This is the same debate we had at the beginning of the season for maybe who was the best quarterback in the conference. Yep. Now could we be having this conversation about which one is a better portal?
You know who I'm dropping a bag on if I'm Miami? As long as Dawson's still the offensive coordinator, I'm going Drew Mestamaker from North Texas.
Absolutely.
See, look at that, Andrew McCleary. It's just not SEC, baby. We are all about North Texas football here.
Yeah.
Casey's on it.
Yeah, he's all over it. I mean, I think the Sellers point is good because, look, the reality is I don't care how good of a quarterback you are. If the front 5 in front of you can't block their way out of a wet paper bag, it doesn't matter how fast you are or how elusive you are or how strong your arm is. It does not matter. If you take a snap and you are under pressure from the jump, you cannot be a good quarterback, okay? Mm-hmm. If you allow me to bring it back to what I've seen out of Texas Tech this year,
yep.
I mean, you can just look at the BYU game, okay? True freshman quarterback Bear Brockmeyer has played outstanding for the Cougars all year. He finally looked like a true freshman because you could tell he was seeing ghosts in the pocket.
He finally looked like a kid who was number 47 playing quarterback.
Yeah. You could tell when he was in the pocket, even if he had a semi-clean pocket, he felt the pressure around him, okay? And, I mean, that's what Sellers has clearly been dealing with all year, okay? Yeah. It's not 100% on his offensive line, but there's no way to give him a fair eval if the pressure rate on him is, 50%. He's under duress, for an entire game.
Yep, you're right. And I think the narrative has been that it's not, it's not just one issue with the South Carolina offense from week to week. You know what I mean? Like it's been a collective issue, but in each individual game, Jamie Bradford said on Inside the Gamecocks here on Chief Sports Network, like there's a different element that's been highlighted in each game. Like one week it's very clearly offensive line. Another week it may be very clearly the play calling. Another week it may be that Sellers is just fighting too hard and taking sacks, or he's missing open receivers, or he's not seeing someone downfield. And so in different matchups, you can kind of blame it on one thing or another, but it's a great point. It's really hard to evaluate him. He has not played well this year. He has regressed. But who does that fall on? Is that Mike Shula? Is that Lenore Sellers himself? Is it the offense as a whole? Is it everybody? Yes, I think it's everybody involved in that conversation. And there's going to be other offensive coordinators, quarterbacks, coaches in college football and in the NFL who are going to say, yeah, but look at all the measurables. Look at the ability. What could we do if we get our hands on him? Because that's how coaches and GMs and people operate. And you have to be that confident that you're the one who can turn somebody around.
I can fix him, because that always works. Whenever we hear that, I can fix him.
Speaking of fixing things really quick before we move on to the next thing, I just did this on Twitter. I want to do it right here. What a shout out to our guy, Tyler Markley from Projection Sports. Look at this programming guide. He does these every week. This is absolutely incredible. I love this. It gives you a full breakdown of everything that's happening.
Yep.
He's been mixing up the basketball
basketball
started.
in there for us.
We're mixing up the basketball and football so you can break down everything that's happening. And just as a tip of the cap, not only do we have this beautiful guide here that has channels, times, games, everything, he did a YouTube TV only one. Speaking of getting things fixed, we're never going to see Disney and Google get this thing worked out, I don't think, because those are two titans that are slamming into each other over a little bit of money in the grand scheme of things. But I just thought it was hilarious that we had the YouTube only. Look at the difference, guys. When you remove the ESPN channels, I'll flip back again. Look at that. Look how many more games are available.
What have you guys done? So I'll be honest. I was YouTube TV last year. Loved it. I got rid of it because it was $90. It was too expensive for me. So this season, at the start of the season, I went to the ESPN package because, again, I'm worried about one primary conference, so those are the games I want to watch. And everyone who's been complaining about the ESPN app and lagging and this and that, I've been watching games all year, whether it's on my phone, it's on my laptop, I put it on my TV, I put it on Apple TV. I've had no issues whatsoever. So I'm sorry, Michael Bratton, but I have not had the issues that you've had. What have you guys done?
Well, I had to jump ship to ESPN real quick because I am a YouTube TV customer, so it's a bit of a back and forth. Certainly the Big 12, they don't typically hit ESPN or ABC airways on prime time. Obviously that was big change last weekend. But that's where we're at right now. Once these two parties play nice, it'll be nice to be back on YouTube TV, get to set up my own quad box again. But I will never forget, in the military they told us to be semper gumby, always flexible. So when there's a problem, man, we just got to adjust.
Here's the thing, though, that I would say is when we talk about this, you said when they finally play nice. I don't know that they are, guys. Like, are they going to play nice? I personally think, and call me a conspiracy theorist if we want, but I think just maybe Disney is going to continue to hold out until people do what Andrew just said and flip to the ESPN plan until they have enough people over there, and then they don't have to sign a contract with anybody. Then you can get Disney if you have Hulu Live, who they also own, or you can get it off of maybe Sling or something like that. But for the most part, I think that these disputes are going to continue until Disney has a monopoly. And in order to watch ESPN, you have to have the ESPN subscription. And then, Craig, you're going to catch your $90 charge on that one because they'll have everybody cornered.
Question on the Sling. So I used to be a Sling customer way back when. I was an OG Sling, I believe. Does Sling have a quad box or a multi-view?
No idea.
I don't know. I was not.
We can't live without the multi-view now, right?
I do like
well, when you guys only watch 16 teams, I guess you don't really need a multi-view. But for those of us who actually participate in the rest of the sport, it's nice to have a
Wait,
quad
are there
box.
other teams?
Yeah. I know. It's shocking.
Craig, Ohio State is
That's
is
like
also
SEC
playing
North.
football.
That's SEC North. We're going to trade them for Kentucky.
Indiana SEC North too. Is that what you're going to tell me now?
I don't even think about Indiana.
Hey Andrew, as we get you out of here, you mentioned before that obviously Texas Tech is at the top of the Big 12 right now. It's going to be tough to see somebody else like a Utah or a BYU come in and challenge them in the Big 12 title game. Just reiterate a little bit of how you think Texas Tech matches up if they do get into the college football playoff against teams from the storied and consistent and dominant SEC or teams from SEC North.
I believe the word you were looking for was illustrious, right? Distinguished.
That's
okay.
a $5 word right there. I'm going to write that one down.
Yeah.
How do you spell that?
Yeah, I got you. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm picking up what you're laying down. No, so again, defensively, there's not a team in the country that can challenge Texas Tech's defense in any sort of way that would really give anybody any pause for concern. Like they're there with anybody you want to roll out, any 11 on the defensive side of the ball. Texas Tech is there to match it. There's not an offense in the country that would, give them problems. The biggest issue Texas Tech has is specifically their red zone offense. They have been horrendous this year at converting red zone opportunities into touchdowns. I mean, it just showed up in the BYU game. They were 2 of 7 inside the red zone. Now, they have an excellent kicker. Stone Harrington went 5 for 5 on Saturday. But the reality is, if you get 7 opportunities inside the 20, especially in a playoff game, and you only convert 2 of those into touchdowns, you're going to lose the game.
No, you guys got to play Sark because Sark can't score either in the red zone. My gosh, it could come all the way down to field goal kickers.
Listen, Texas is not going to get into the red zone against this Texas Tech defense, okay? And when Texas Tech hosts Texas in a first-round playoff game this year and then beats them and then goes to play Texas A&M in the quarterfinals and take on the number 1 team in the country, you guys will get to see it firsthand, okay?
Oh, that would be so fun. I would sign up. Can we go to Lubbock?
I would love to go to Lubbock for a playoff game.
I want to go to Lubbock with
Texas
you guys.
Coming to town. They would be an absolute scene if that happened.
If that happens, make sure we get Michael Crabtree somewhere on site. This has been fun talking outside the SEC a little bit. When we get to this time of the year, for those of you who were not with us last year, it is going to become kind of a common theme that we get outside of the SEC as we approach the playoff, because we're going to have these matchups with the Big Ten, with the ACC, with the Big 12. And we thank Andrew McCleary for being here to talk not just Texas Tech Red Raiders as they're riding high right now, but also the Big 12 as a whole. So, Andrew, we appreciate you and continue to enjoy your tortillas. This
Always.
has been SEC Sunday Night. We'll be right back after this break with It Just Means More. Genius.
At TriFit Physical Therapy and Performance, we believe true health and peak performance start with personalized care. Whether you're an athlete recovering from injury or just chasing your next personal best, we're here to guide your journey. With expert coaching, hands-on therapy, and transparent cash-based pricing, you get the care you need without the insurance red tape. One client drove 100 miles just to see us and said it was worth every mile. Contact us at trifitperformance.com or 803-353-5619. TriFit Physical Therapy and Performance, where recovery meets results.
When playing sports, you want a coach that will fight for you. At Hewitt Diamaduros Law Firm, we've got your back. Whether it's personal injury, insurance disputes, negligence, or wrongful death, our team delivers exceptional legal services that makes meaningful difference in the lives of the individuals and families we work for. Visit hdlawse.com. hdlawse.com. Hewitt Diamaduros, we're on your team.
Well, it's not always raining. There'll be days like this when there's no one complaining. There'll be days like this when everything falls into place like the flick of a switch. Oh, my mama told me there'll be days like this when you don't need to worry. There'll be days like this.
Welcome back to SEC Sunday Night here on the Chief Sports Network. I want to remind everybody that we do have a giveaway going on with our good friend Daily Joy from SEC Pretty. If you'd like to win some free SEC Pretty merch, you can find that link in our comment section. You can find it in the tweets linked today as we're live tweeting, and you can also find it in my bio. So if you want to just click on my profile, if you're maybe watching this later, maybe it wasn't in the tweet that you started watching us on, maybe you can't find the comments, it's going to be very simple. Just click on my profile. You're going to find the link in bio there. There's 4 ways to enter the giveaway. You can do all 4 of them. You can follow me and Craig on Twitter. That's 2 ways. You can go to our website at College Football Forever, or you can also go to the College Football Forever Chief YouTube and subscribe. Make sure if you subscribe, we love you for subscribing, but like our stuff, comment there, go to podcast, give us 5 stars on Apple or Spotify or wherever you're listening. But really what we want to do is give you opportunities to win free stuff. And so if you want a free hat, you want a free sweatshirt, we're running that through the month of November. So make sure that you click on that and give us a follow, and let's get going. It is time for It Just Means More. Genius. And Casey is here with us as always. He may or may not know what we have to throw at him. We should have gotten into this with Andrew, but before we get into boards, let's look at this conference comparison, and I'm sure Casey will have something hilarious to say about this as well. Our friend Stu Mandel is back with us again. I'll read this one for us. The CBS Big Ten game next week is 3-6 Penn State against 3-6 Michigan State.
The land-grant trophy.
Thoughts here?
Not watching.
It's like that meme. Thankfully, you guys are a video source medium as well. It's just that meme with the hand on the face. That's even preseason. That doesn't look like
CBS game. Yeah. So front office sports. I don't know.
Is Rutgers off next week?
Rutgers might be off.
Well, I think we can take it a step further here too, because Clay Travis lets us know about how this shakes out from a monetary standpoint. In addition to it being these two teams, Michigan State, Penn State, both 3-6, CBS paid triple what they were paying for the SEC game of the week. Remember that was part of the deal. So we've gone from the SEC matchup of the week to this, to 2 3-6 teams paying triple the money versus, does anybody know what the 330 is?
Hang on, I've got it for you,
number
buddy.
4 Alabama versus number 12 Oklahoma.
No one's going to watch that
on the line.
No one's going to watch that at all.
Yeah, exactly.
I got a date with Michigan State, Penn State. I don't know about y'all.
Yeah, right. So front office sports did a really good piece this week. I think they do some really good investigative journalism.
You make people read, Craig. Come on, break it down for us.
I know. Okay. All right. So here's the Cliff Notes version, and then you guys can go and actually read it. He said, you know what? The Big Ten got more money. They're on Fox, they're on NBC, they're on CBS. The ABC was smart, though, and they actually got a deal out of what they're doing with the SEC. Because the SEC is banking on people being lazy. Basically, you can turn on ABC at 11 a.m. on a Saturday, and you just let that roll all the way through, and you're going to probably be getting a top 25 matchup, if not 2 top 25 teams throughout that, and those are primary SEC games. Basically, what it does is it says that a person can be lazy, that the person doesn't have to flip the channel like they're going to have to do if we're watching the Big Ten. You're going to have to go to all these different channels. So it keeps that up, and you're seeing that with the numbers. Because of the top 10 games this year, 8 of them have been SEC on SEC teams. A 9th game has gone to Ohio State and Texas. What you got here, Rob?
Well, I was just going to put this back up so that you can look at it. To your point about being lazy, right?
Right.
Look at that ABC slot just from last week. Now they did have the Big 12 matchup. That was the game day matchup, but then it goes.
That's a top 10 matchup, though. Top 10 matchup.
Absolutely, straight into Texas A&M and Missouri, straight into LSU, Alabama. I mean, the story just kind of writes itself there, right? Like if you were going to watch one channel, or if you're just going to leave it and it's going to be background, that's where you're coming. That's where your viewers.
It's a programmer's dream, though. That's what they want. That's what they want you to do. So I mean, literally, it landed in ABC's lap and ABC on ESPN or whatever, ESPN on ABC.
Yeah, I think it's going to be
for ESPN too, and they're the second tier games. I was looking at that, and you could do the same thing there too.
Absolutely,
it's not much different. And what's going to be interesting is you have to think this is coming with the SEC going to a 9-game schedule starting next year. You have to think that there is going to be some sort of agreement between ABC and the SEC of some sort of boost, because that's going to bring that many more eyeballs, because now you're not going to have to worry about the Charlottes and the Marshalls and whatever else of the world. You're not going to get these pitiful games. Instead, you're going to get SEC on SEC.
I think it's inevitable. And, I've made the argument before that, like, does that help or hurt the SEC? I think it helps them from a marketing standpoint, but I'm talking about the teams themselves. Like, how much more are they going to beat themselves up before they get to the college football playoff? And even if your record survives, like let's take Georgia, for example, we've noticed there's been a lack of depth. There's things that we would say about them this year that we have not said about a Georgia team in a long time. Jonathan Williams was with us last week, and he mentioned the lack of a pass rush. He mentioned the lack of the depth at safety, and there's some injuries there, and there's just not getting the quality of safety play that you're used to. If you add more SEC games, and you referenced Charlotte and so on and so forth, Austin Peay, pulling straight from the Georgia schedule, if we don't have those games, what are the odds? What are the odds that these teams are going to be weaker when they reach the college football playoff? Then you're going to get a matchup with somebody like a Texas Tech who didn't have as many knockdown, drag-out matchups in the Big 12, or whoever survives the extremely fun ACC gauntlet this year. And is there a chance they're fresher and they're going to pull an upset, even if the SEC team is "quote unquote" the better team?
What is it? What is the quote from the good book? Iron sharpens iron, right?
Yep.
So they're going to be ready.
Okay.
That's all I'm going to say.
We're going to continue to disagree on that point, but
the out of conference is going to be more of the Marshalls and more of the directional.
I think that's what you're seeing. You're going to get one big game, and then you're going to get two cupcakes, right? So South Carolina will probably have Old Dominion. Will they still play Clemson, Rob?
Yeah, they will. They will absolutely, without a doubt, still play Clemson.
Oh, they might get Wofford or the Citadel on there, maybe.
No option teams, please. All right. Let's go to a couple boards here. I have no idea what order I'm throwing these in, so let's just
good.
Let's just go for it. Let's just mix it up.
More and more like our show, Rob, every week, which is perfect. Just off the rails, right off the bat. We're going outside the SEC tonight and starting with Knowles 247. I don't know if anybody watched the game, but apparently Florida State lost last night. Not sure to who, but it wasn't pretty for Mike Norvell. So this guy, Wild Knoll Will, that's a mouthful, says fire President McCullough. The president and the board are the ones who won't sign off on firing Norvell. If Alford can't do it apart from approval from the board and president, get rid of President McCullough. So there it is, guys. You can't fire the coach. You might as well just fire the president of the school.
I think
this is the ultimate fire everybody.
You
just ran all the way up the ladder.
Everybody's gone. So, Casey, since you are our ACC expert and insider extraordinaire, or at least maybe you can have who's on the phone call.
Yeah, you guys put way too many monikers on me every week. Go ahead.
It's a lot of fun. It's kind of a game that we have. We didn't want to tell you, but there is some betting happening in the background about what types of names.
What was that word that Andrew used? That was like really good.
Illustrious.
Illustrious. You are the illustrious ACC insider and beat writer for the Clemson Tigers. So after smacking Florida State last night, what actually happens with Florida State and Mike Norvell? Is it just I'm gonna grit my teeth and we're gonna go another year, or like, is he done? I mean, does
they need $100 million?
Yeah, I think they're gonna have. He's gonna get the vote of confidence for one more year from either the president. I just look outside. I see the carousel, and you talked about it last week on this show, and we talked about it on our show. It's gonna be absolutely bananas. So I'm not sure, without getting kind of a punch in the gut saying like your program's not as good as some of these other jobs, so you're not going to get someone as good as Norvell. I mean, take him for what he is. But when he came from Memphis, the hottest name, and then won for the first 2 years that he was there, first 3 years I guess he was there. They had pretty successful years. Obviously, the huge drop off, and then this back-to-back drop offs, right? But I don't know. Everyone I'm talking to that actually knows that's actually inside on our show says that he's gone.
Yeah.
But I just don't know. I don't know what. I mean, Florida State. If this was the year 2000, yeah, you're going to get the hottest name, Willie Taggart. You'll get Willie Taggart to come up here, and I just
that would definitely work out beautifully. By the way, if they got Willie Taggart, have they tried that?
They already did that.
Have they tried that?
So here's my thought. With as crazy as the carousel is, and we talk about those prime names out there, is this the opportunity where Jimmy Sexton, who I do believe represents Mike Norvell, gives his coach a reset and says, hey, why don't you go to Arkansas? You may take a little bit of a pay cut, but you're resetting your clock. You're getting a reset. There's some sort of mutual agreement between Florida State and Norvell and Arkansas, and they get that. To me, if I'm Jimmy Sexton, that's what I'm looking for. Maybe if I'm not Mike Norvell, because hey, listen, you owe me the money, but you have to think. You looked at his face on the sidelines. It can't be a whole hell of a lot of fun with what he's doing right now.
Why is Jimmy Sexton motivated to do that, though? He's going to get paid either way. I think that Norvell should be motivated to do that, and he should probably have Sexton investigating
if anyone can do it, though, it's Jimmy Sexton. I guess maybe that's the Sexton.
Well, yeah, I mean, everything runs through Jimmy Sexton, and we're just sitting around on pins and needles waiting on somebody to make a documentary about him. But I think we got to get a little further down towards the end of his career before we get that special.
But I think that's the piece, Rob. That's the piece. I think you said it perfectly. He may jump. Like, yeah, he may not get fired from there. They may come out and say, this President McCullough or whomever may say, hey, kind of like the Luke Fickell thing at Wisconsin, we're going to ride with him one more year. Obviously, the internal conversations are you got to make some changes. We need some different. I don't know how you have two brand new coordinators. You had a group of 5 head coach come over to be your OC.
Not even. That's a Big 12 team.
That's right. They had a Big 12 team to come over.
Wow. Good thing Andrew McCleary is no longer on the war. He'd be yelling at you instead of me.
I know, but yeah. I mean, like, how do you switch that? So what are you going to do? You're going to change your defensive line coach? What's that necessarily going to? Is that going to move the needle? But one piece, I did write a piece for ClemsonSportsMedia.com this week about the opponent preview. I do it every week. And one thing I did notice is I always put where the transfers come from. I believe it's 17 of 22 starters of the first 22 are transfers, first-year transfers at Florida State. That's a lot. That's a lot to manage. That's a lot to keep up for Florida State. And I think, he hit on that 2 years ago, and he has not hit the last 2 years.
He struck out 2 years in a row.
No, 2 years in a row.
But I think that's like what we're seeing is the theme in college football in 2025. It's knowing how to balance the NIL, but it's knowing how to balance the portal. You've got Kirsten doing a great job of that. Dan Lanning does a good job of that. Ole Miss is doing a great job, of balancing the portal where you're looking at a majority of your roster spots. Texas Tech, McCleary was just on there. Texas Tech has spent $25 million. They spent $7 million on the defensive line alone. Now you're bringing in a lot of talent. You're bringing in a lot, but they're showing that we're able to do that. And Norvell, for whatever reason, you have to wonder, like, what are you spending money on? Last year it was DJ Unga. I'll let you say it. DJ coming in. This year was Tommy Castellanos. What was Tommy Castellanos at Boston College? Average at best, flashy, but not great. So, like, is the move like, oh, we're gonna go take this again goes back to what we were talking about earlier, Rob? Is the move? Well, we're gonna go take DJ Lagway because then we're gonna stick it to the Gators in Gainesville and we're gonna put him at quarterback. But again, we're bringing in a guy that's had more questions than answers, and so, like, my big question on Mike Norvell now: can you actually evaluate what you want in this modern age of college football with the NIL and the portal? I don't know if he can.
No, because the transfer portal is all about getting the right fits in the right positions. It's not about stars. It's not about dropping a bag on one player that comes in and makes a difference. It's about what are the weaknesses on your football team, and can you evaluate who the best players are, whether you know who they are or not. You know who's a star for Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss? Linebacker Andrew Jones. You know where he came from? Grambling. Yep. Let's talk about Jacob Rodriguez, who we just talked about on here.
Where did Trinidad Chambliss come from?
With McCleary, Ferris State.
Again,
yeah. Even Rodriguez, who McCleary is going to ring the bell for to be in the Heisman conversation as a linebacker, is a transfer. But had you heard of him before when he's in the transfer portal? Is he getting a lot of buzz? Is he somebody that you're going and you probably need to drop a lot of money on? No. It's all about talent identification. And to your point, Craig, Norvell has not really shown that he has the ability to do that. The year that it hit, Jordan Travis was coming back. They had gotten him previously, but he'd been in the system, and the skill position players they went and got were no doubters, and they haven't really had it. They haven't really had a problem getting skill positions. Deuce Robinson is still making plays for them, right?
He's a stud.
Yeah, exactly. That's not
if
the
he had
issue.
somebody that could throw to him, he would be a Biletnikoff finalist.
Did you see that? Who was it? Squirrel? Squirrel from Tennessee.
Squirrel White. Yeah.
Squirrel White plays from Tennessee. I didn't know why Squirrel White left Tennessee. Speaking of Jordan Travis.
Play with Castellanos.
I remember 3 years ago, where I was watching Clemson and I believe it was Florida. No, it was Florida State, North Carolina State. I was texting with Casey. Jordan Travis throws up some just weird duck, and we're just like questioning Jordan Travis and his abilities. But anyway,
now
there's your random story of the day.
Jordan Travis was the best thing that ever happened to them. All right, we got a couple more boards here. Casey?
Oh.
We got here we go. Florida was all in. They said they had like a deadline to get Lane Kiffin, but here our friend Paco Taco Gator says Kiffin isn't coming. We have become Nebraska. We have been through 4 coaches that were all bad. It is a broken program, and we have a bad AD. I don't think Kiffin is coming. He has it good where he is at. Why would he want to come to this dumpster fire? And let's be honest, that is exactly what we are. This is obviously right after the Kentucky demolishing of the Gators last night.
Paco Gator, not thrilled.
Is he wrong? Is he wrong? Point out what's wrong. Show me the inaccuracies.
No lies detected.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I get it. We do this segment every week because, MBG does an insane job of putting all this stuff out there for us. And from our perspective, in having these conversations where we want to have relatable conversations about sports, we want to highlight the fan because it's the passion of the SEC fan that makes our sport, that makes this show, that makes your show, Casey. Like a lot of it's coming out of the SEC, and so we need to shine light on that. But in this case, sometimes we have stuff on here that's just ridiculous, right? Like even the one from the whoever the Knoll guy was we just read about firing the president. It had a lot of downvotes. Did you notice that?
Of course.
Hey, quick
I can't
question.
find anything wrong with this one, guys.
So quick question. Who's the bigger dumpster fire? So we've got Florida and we've got LSU.
Well, why is Nebraska catching strays there?
Because it's Nebraska and they haven't been good since 1995.
Because they're flatlined.
Right, but like the kids don't know about Nebraska, so that means that poster has got to be
our age,
over 50.
Oh, I'm sorry, Casey and I's age, not Rob's age.
Yeah, Nebraska's always sucked in my day.
But have we hit a point though? So like LSU, Verge was fired or his interim, then he was hired, and now he's the guy. Now he's interim again. I'm not sure. Like, yeah, I'm not sure what day of the week it is, but the instability at
Sunday.
Florida. Yeah. Oh, thank you. Appreciate that. Oh, I see that up top. Are we sitting in a world where in the SEC, Auburn is a fountain of stability and the best job open right now?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. You have lost your marbles. And to your question, what's the bigger dumpster fire, Florida or LSU? Give me Gainesville. I think it's a bigger dumpster fire in Gainesville than it is in Baton Rouge, and it's simply because
is it hiring the right guy is it hiring the right guy, which is Willie Fritz? Is that the key?
I think you're one move away from being back in a playoff in 2 years in Baton Rouge.
Willie Fritz knows.
I don't have any confidence in what's happening in Gainesville. I just don't.
Yep, Willie Fritz, baby. Don't win the press conference, win the national championship.
I don't
write that one down.
I don't hate it. All right,
let's
do one more.
Casey's skeptical.
Yeah, I just don't like the one year and move or 2 years and move. All right.
Yeah, it is.
Here's from a UGA board. It
Greatest
is from
team in the land.
From On3. And we've asked this question for a long time, and then my stepson went to Mississippi State, so and I'm all in. But this is Palmetto Dog 2. And Palmetto Dog 2 is a regular on the message board Geniuses. He says, Why are cowbells allowed at MSU? Is it just sympathetic concession from the SEC because Mississippi State has not been a threat most years? Seems mostly strange to prohibit artificial noisemakers, but blatantly allow it for one university. Has the SEC addressed this publicly?
Mississippi State has addressed this publicly. Before every game, they talk about when you cannot ring your cowbells. And being there a few years ago, shout out to my boy Casey, that was one of the coolest football experiences I have ever been to, because the cowbells were loud, the student section was loud, and then Ladd McConkey shut them up for the rest of the game, and everyone went home in the second half. But it was a cool experience.
It is, and it's something different, I think, unless you... so my first experience was, and again, dating myself, 1998, I believe, Peach Bowl, because that's my entire college career at Clemson, did end up in the Peach Bowl or not in a bowl. And we played Mississippi State, Fred Smoot and Mississippi State. And all of a sudden, people next to us, it was a very mixed crowd as before they even did like the each side of each team. So you were just buying tickets. It was probably before the internet, if I'm being honest. And there was cowbells everywhere. And it was deafening and awful and horrendous. And then fast forward, what was that, 20 some odd years, I'm in Starkville at a game, and it was awesome. It's fantastic, and they play it up, and it does. It kind of just, it doesn't hurt your ears the way it did as an opponent.
Oh, and when they're in like unison and they're doing it, I mean, it is cool. Nice.
Got a Smoot reference in there. That was a sneaky one. Like I snuck that in there. And speaking of, Maggie chimes in to say that Central Missouri Mules legend Willie Fritz mentioned Maggie. I'll tell you this: I'm a Central Missouri Mules fan because a friend of mine, Spencer Reeves, played basketball for them a few years ago. Spencer Reeves being the older brother of Lakers star Austin Reeves. So I'm familiar with the Mules, Maggie, but was not aware that Willie Fritz was there. So thanks for the information.
I owe an apology to Maggie. The last two Instagram reels have been at the
expense of the Tigers.
Expense of the Tigers. It is not intentional. We're just trying to highlight and try to garner some eyeballs. So
it's
sorry about that.
Joy said that they were done for in our segment this week. So you're not the only one throwing shots at Como. And we're going to continue to Casey, let us know if MBG has any. I tweeted this earlier, but you guys, send us a message. If we have any flight trackers in and out of Columbia, Missouri, we need to keep an eye on that because the coaching carousel continues. We're just waiting on somebody. Now that the college football playoff hopes are done for Missouri, we'll see if Drinkwitz is going to change up that MIZ.
I believe there was one to California, to LA the other day, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh yeah,
from UCLA. Is Lincoln Riley going to come back to the old Big 12 and come to Como?
Either way, the planes go both ways, Craig.
Do you know what he has sacrificed to be at USC? Because he has sacrificed
you would reference that.
The planes, the credibility. He had a burnt offering of his brisket, but like, bro went from living in Norman, Oklahoma, to on the beach. Oh, nice, Maggie. Yeah. But now he's like living on the beach in California. So what has he sacrificed? And he doesn't make the playoff anymore, so he's not sacrificing his Decembers and January.
Could he make it this year? Is this the year?
No.
Hey, I'll flash this up really quick. On 3 had there.
Careful what you're flashing.
On 3 had it's gonna be 30 degrees in South Carolina tomorrow. I gotta keep the sweatshirt on.
We have snow. We have 2 inches. We have 2 inches of snow up in the up north. We have 5 inches.
All right. So On 3 has this projection. Obviously, we don't know what college football playoff is going to look like on Tuesday night. Exactly what the committee is going to do. They have Tulane now in at that 12th spot, matching up with Georgia. So you didn't really get any change 1 through 5, but you do have Texas Tech jumping up to 6, bumping Ole Miss to 7. Gives you a matchup in this alignment. Obviously the eyeballs are going to go for us towards Ole Miss and Texas and Oxford. But if you look down there at the bottom, speaking of Lincoln Riley, got Oklahoma and USC in the first 4 out. We'll see what happens with those schools and where that goes. And maybe, just maybe, where we're going to end up for the first round of the playoff. We'll continue to track that and see if maybe we can't get a little special trip arranged for you guys. Maybe a little extra content coverage of the college football playoff from SEC Sunday night. A major shout out to Andrew McCleary for coming in and doing a major segment, a huge segment with us to talk about Texas Tech, the Big 12, college football as a whole. Shout out to Joy in Starkville. We'll have her back next week on the SEC Pretty Campus Tour. Remember that you can get free SEC Pretty merchandise right here. It's in our tweets. It's in our comment section. Easiest way is it's in my bio. So all you got to do is click on the profile that you're probably watching this on right now and click on the link in bio. Hit one of those 4 ways. Hit all 4 ways to enter to win. Free hat, free sweatshirt. Okay, you got a couple weeks left. We're going to get that done. Make sure you do that. Give us a follow, like, subscribe, comment, all the things. Shout out to Casey Cregan, as always, for being here. You guys go listen to the Message Board Genius podcast. Our great, great friends. He is Craig McMichael. I'm Rob Williams, and this is SEC Sunday night on the Chief Sports Network. We'll see you next Sunday.